I'm going to begin with my NYX concealer. NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer. I got this online. It was really cheap. I got like a bag of makeup brushes on an amazing site called Rose Wholesale. I think for like 10 brushes it was $8.50 and free shipping. It was crazy. Also, if you have any breakouts, obviously concealer is what you should be using to get those hidden. My right cheek has been breaking out a lot lately and I'm not sure why. So I just basically bring it right on the top of the apple of my cheek. And then all on the eyelid. Alright, so that's complete. And now I look bright on one side. And then sometimes I'll just use the excess concealer from the brush in between my eyebrows because I tend to get kind of red there. Oh, and in case anyone was wondering about moisturizer, I don't actually use moisturizer. I find that it makes me, because I'm naturally kind of on the oily side, and I find that it makes my makeup uneven because I'm too oily, so I don't moisturize day or night. And now my concealer's done, so I'm going to go in with my foundation. Now, I shouldn't have to make a note of this, but obviously wash your hands very well if you do apply your concealer, your foundation with your fingers, because that's what I do. I do not like using brushes for my foundation personally, but I see a lot of people and hear a lot of people be like, ew, that's so gross, like, don't use your hands, they're dirty, and it's like I wash my hands, guys. So I'm using L'Oreal True Match Paris. You can't really see it. There we go. There. And don't mind my fingernail polish that I need to wash off from when I was hanging out with Elena. So this is in Cool Alabaster. Yeah. And L'Oreal Paris is my favorite brand by far. For some reason, I like to start on the lower part of my face. So I'm going to blend that in lightly with my finger, and once it's like even, I just lightly dab it. Make sure you get the top of your neck in there so people can't see the line. So basically I just do the same thing over and over again as far as putting my foundation on is concerned. I don't contour. Some people like to put their foundation over their lips. I don't really like to do that, so I just like go like that when I'm applying it, as you'll see in a second. But I don't know, I find that when the foundation goes on my lips, it messes up my lip liner routine. So, oh, I love this part. I love when I'm almost done with my foundation because, man, this takes the longest because I'm like obsessive. My biggest tip about foundation, because that's what most people make comments on my account, is how do you get your foundation to look like that? You have to just really be aware of how you're blending it and making sure that the same amount is all over your face. Like, not just like throwing it on and then putting powder on. Like, I cover every little bit and make sure that it's all consistent. And now I'm going in to my mineral makeup, my powder, which is the tried and true L'Oreal True Match Mineral, L'Oreal Paris True Match Mineral. I use it in Soft Ivory. I've been using this stuff for as long as I've been wearing makeup. It's better than any powder I've ever tried. Coverage, like the texture of it, it's the best. I really have nothing but good things to say about it. So I'm gonna basically just put this all over my face, and I do use a fair amount. It is cheap, but because I use a lot of it whenever I apply it, I tend to have to buy it a lot, which does add up financially, but it is always worth it. So I start with under my eyes. I tend to start with the places that tend to collect the most grease or oils or sweat, as we all know who our princess is. Like today, my party is in a park, and it looks like a really beautiful but sunny and hot day, so I want to make sure I am as powdered as can be. So Yeah, make sure those creases of foundation, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves, when you can see like the lines of where the foundation is, the liquid foundation. Just get those all powdered out and buffed out. As far as tips with powder goes, same as like liquid foundation, just consistency. Don't overlook any spots. Get it all blended in all areas of your face. And we are almost done. Wow, that's really sad. It takes me 15 minutes to do this. It's weird seeing it timed. I think today, sometimes I start with my eyebrows and sometimes I start with my shadow, but I think for the sake of this look, I'm going to start with the eyeshadow. This is the best palette in the world. Too Faced Natural Matte. Not cheap, but so worth it, and you get all of these beautiful colors. And I use this for everything. Obviously, I'm out of Sexpresso. That name makes me giggle. I'm going to use in the Day section Heaven, and that's what I'm going to begin with my finger. And I'm putting that all over my eyelid. Can you see? Oh, this is really hard to do. Just like that. Then I'm going to take, under the classic section, Lace Teddy, and put that all over my lid too, just to give it more of like a peachy look. In case anyone's curious as to why I don't use a brush, I like using brushes for my crease, but with my lid, I just find that it's so much more pigmented to use your finger, and you don't waste any on a brush from it flying all over the place. Just seems to work better for me personally. But maybe I just haven't found a really good brush. Alright. Oh, and I got a sleepy in my eye. That happens, people. Princesses get sleepy too. And I'm Sleeping Beauty today, so that works out well. Okay, then I'm going to use a Glorious brush from that kit I got online. And it's just like this, I don't really know how to explain this. This is the shape of it. And I'm going to take my favorite color in this palette, which is Strapless. It's like this nudie pink color. I'm just gonna swirl my brush around in it and then tap it off so I don't waste or get it everywhere. And I'm just gonna take it all along the crease here. Let me get a better angle. The secret to eyeshadow is being gentle with your application, not like, I learned that the hard way. I'd be like, why isn't it working? It's because I was pushing too hard. Now to the other eye. Now honestly, like, eyeshadow is not my strong suit. I feel like I have a lot to learn because I see these unbelievable eyeshadow routines and tutorials I watch, and I'm just like, I don't know how people get cut creases like that or like blend it like that. Like, it's really hard for me to do that. And then obviously when the eyeshadow drops down, you can just brush it away with your powder brush. Take this shade right here, Risque, and I'm going to put that also into the crease, mainly just in the corners, not so much on the inside, but on the outside corners. And then I'm also going to put it at my lash line. And now obviously it's really in your face and we don't want those sharp lines. We're just going to blend that out. Might go back and clean that up a little, but for now it'll do. And go back in with that same brush with Risque and do that all under the lash. We don't want this to be too harsh either, so go back in with that blending brush. The next part we're gonna do is eyeliner, but before I do that, honestly what I like to do is apply mascara before that, like a light amount of mascara before that. Lash Blast Fusion by CoverGirl. And it's in Very Black, I think. Yes. I love this stuff. I used to curl my eyelashes, but you don't even need to with this. My left eyelashes are very temperamental. I don't know what the deal is, but my right lash is always like, okay, Melody. And then my left ones are like, we're tired. And I'm putting on false lashes in a minute anyway. And then, I don't know why I do it this way, I'm weird, but I put on the mascara, I let it dry, and then I brush out my brows. The eyeliner I use, it's lasted so long, and I've had it for so long that the label has worn off, but I think it's also L'Oreal L'Oreal Paris, and it's a felt tip. So this winged eyeliner is not very kind to us humans. I don't need to tell you guys that because it's hard, but I'm just gonna not even explain because I feel like if I talk, I'm just gonna ruin it. So just watch and learn, I guess. Okay, there it is. I hope you guys learned something. Yeah, that's my eyeliner. I find that it is always best to start with the wing, just one line, and then connect and drag accordingly. Sorry, I'm so bad at this. If you guys have any questions, of course, you can ask, and I can explain myself much better in writing, to be honest. And then always make sure that your line is even with your other line. I have a Norah Jones song stuck in my head, and I have no idea why. I like Norah Jones, but it just keeps repeating, and I haven't listened to her since I was a kid, and I'm very confused. We're gonna do one more coat of mascara now that it's dried. Sorry for this very unattractive angle. I don't know why, but leaning my head back when I'm applying mascara really helps my lashes be perky. I don't really understand the physics of it, but somehow that's just the way it is. So I recommend it instead of just being like this, like get those lashes up there and then hit yourself in the eye. For some weird reason, I like to do my eyelashes, my fake eyelashes last. Maybe it's because I hate putting them on so much that I'm like, I'll just wait. Let's do my eyebrows now. Eyebrows are hard. They really are. And I have my off days for sure. So let's begin and hope for the best. This is the brush I use. It's just this thin, like, it's not even an eyebrow brush, but I think it's actually an e.l.f. concealer brush, but I have found that I like using it for my eyebrows, so that's what I'm doing. And I use Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Chocolate. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on there. And I like to start with the middle of my brow and create a line in the shape I want. And then I basically just use the excess on the front of my eyebrow, if that makes any sense. So, here we go. So yeah, I start with a line, just to give myself a base. And then I fill it in. And I like to just add a line right where I want the definition to be on the front of my brow. And then I find that raising my eyebrows helps me with the shape. And brush it up like this. That's how I do my eyebrows. And then make sure that when you lift your brows, the lines you've made are even. That way one doesn't look lower than the other or higher than the other. BRB, I'm going to grab some Q-tips to show you guys a great tip if you find that you make little mistakes. Okay, Q-tips are your best friend when you make mistakes with your eyebrows. It gets rid of any mistake. This goes for mascara, like when you hit the bridge of your nose, which I do like almost every day. When it's like tap or tap, you just let it dry for a second and then go in there with a Q-tip and it's out of there. It's done. The next part I'd like to do is my favorite part, lips. I love putting my lips on because I'm really insecure about the actual shape of my lips. So when I can put on my lined lips, it's like, oh. I'm using an NYX lip liner in the color Natural, and this is what it looks like. I don't know, it's really short now, so I don't know the exact, I think it's the matte one. Just look for, ask anyone working at NYX, like, hey, I'm looking for the natural toned lip liner, and I'm sure they'll be helpful. They usually are. So this is the first thing I do. I just create lines for the top of my lips, and make sure they're even, and then that's a good starting point because then I'm not going to go over and I can figure out how I want to shape my lip from there. So I round out this corner. I go a little over my lip line. And then just drag down. And fill it in a little right here. The bottom is pretty simple. I don't really alter anything. I just line my lip the way it is. Ew, my lips are chapped. I'm sorry. Fill all of this bottom lip with my lip liner. Now I'm going to use an NYX matte lip cream. So this is Cannes. It's not as pink as it looks in the video, but it's glorious. Just put that all over the lip. So now I'm going to go in with my bronzer. It's Hoola by Benefit. It's just lovely. It's matte and it's a great consistency. I'm gonna go in with this brush and find where that line is, right beneath your cheekbone. Very lightly. Next, I'm going to do my blush. There's this great e.l.f. Blush palette. It's literally just called Blush Palette. It's wonderful. I'm going to be using this one right here. Same brush. And blot. Now, obviously I'd never use as much blush in my daily look, but I think it's nice to look pretty rosy when you're princessing. Okay, now I actually just started doing this. I just started using highlighter. I just wanted to try it and now I'm like obsessed. What do you know? I'm using L'Oreal True Match Lumi. This is in Rose because they have several. This thing, it's glorious. So I'm gonna just swirl all of it around but get mostly the lightest part of it, the white, and smile. Give yourself an angle so the sun's on it, and then, or the light, and then just put that on. Like, look at that. That's just nice. That's just nice. Look at me glow. There's something very empowering about highlighter. I don't know what it is. So there you go with that. Oh, and this is the brush I'm using, by the way. It's like a flat, really light brush. And then I'm gonna put it right on the tip of my nose. Shiny. Ooh, got a hair. Just a dab here, dab here. That's it. Okay, and now, last but not least, lashes. The eyelashes I've been using that I love are NYX, the Be Wicked lashes in Sin. They look like this. I can't really get a zoom otherwise, but this is what they look like. My biggest tip, really important, people who struggle with putting on lashes, not to say I don't, because I do, but I find that the biggest hack is letting the glue dry. People will say let it dry for 30 seconds. That is not enough. I let mine dry for at least a minute. Oh, and I use Duo, of course. It's the only kind that works in my experience. So I just got that eyelash on. It's still drying, so you can see the glue, but there you have it. This is the amount of glue that I put on it. And now I have both of my lashes on. Oh, it makes such a difference. I'll never get over how wonderful fake eyelashes are. Let's do our bottom lashes, which I don't like to do a whole lot, especially because I have really long bottom eyelashes. But I'm gonna do a little, just to make my eyes look a little brighter. All right, and this is basically the look. This is weird. I just filmed a makeup tutorial. Waiting for these lashes to dry. Once my eyelashes do dry, I like to put one little final layer of mascara to make sure my actual lashes are blending in with the fake. And here is the completed look here in my kitchen. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry that was a pretty sporadic makeup tutorial. It was my first, so it's bound to be a little rocky. Hopefully my next one, which will be Snow White, will be a lot smoother. I do hope this was informative though and helpful. Let me know if you have any further questions regarding makeup, any kind of tips. I will help in any way I can. Also, thank you so much for liking my post where I said if I got 500 plus likes, I would do this makeup tutorial. So thank you all for your interest and your support. I can't believe more than 600 people actually care about how I do my makeup. That's pretty amazing. Now I have to get my tights and my shoes on so I can go and make some kids happy. I'm really awkward. Okay, goodbye.